Hey team, it's Calvin here, and I wanted to shoot a quick update video for you guys and go over a handful of things as well as a few announcements. First thing is next week, Wednesday, October 24th at 2 p.m., we're going to do a town hall meeting. We'll set that up on Ring Central, and I'll include the login info to join that meeting in this email that I'm sending out promoting this video. I'll also try to send it out again next week. But I'd really like everyone who can to attend, and if for some reason you can't attend, why don't you just give me a heads up, and we won't record the meeting unless a bunch of you guys can't attend. So I wanted to give you a heads up on that. That's coming up next week, and we'll kind of do it like we did the last meeting. That was a lot of fun. Bring your questions. If you want to give some updates on some stuff, bring that, and we'll talk about it. John, if you can get some of the, give a little update on the software, that would be great. You know, Charles, your department, Jake, etc. So anyone who can give a little bit of an update on how things are going for your department, or any questions that you think are relevant for the entire team or to talk about, we'll do it for about an hour, and it'll be real freestyle. I'm not going to prepare a big speech or anything. It's just going to be fun. We'll talk, go over stuff, and we'll have a good time. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Also, I wanted to give you an update on a few other things. I want to go over the core value stories from last month. We got a bunch of submissions. So I want to kind of give you the highlights to some of those. I highly recommend you read those as well as submit them. I noticed that nobody has submitted one for this month so far, so I submitted one. Go read it if you'd like. Or I would love you to read them. All of them. They're all really fun. I always enjoy reading them. And they're a ball. So also, I want your help helping us vote for your favorite for September so we can pick a winner. So as you guys know, every month we pick the best story based on either your favorite or the one that aligned with our core values the most. If you guys want to email me back and just tell me which one would be your pick, there aren't that many stories. They're easy to read. It should take you a few minutes. Send me your vote. And the winner of both the storyteller and the person the story is told about is going to either get a gift card for $100 if you're in the US, or if you're in the Philippines, we're going to add it to your pay. So I just want to give that heads up. Before I jump into the stories and go over them, obviously you can read them as well. A few other quick announcements. One is Emily Reimert. She's been on our team for, I think, 5-6 years. She is leaving the team. We are really grateful for what she's done for us and are excited about her next step in life and moving on to other things. So I wanted to give you that update there. Melissa is going to start working with Heather. She's transitioning to work with Heather, so kind of a big announcement, but we were really excited to hear that Melissa was willing to make a transition and start helping Heather. So a lot of the stuff that Emily was doing in the past, Melissa will be doing in the future. And as a result, Zach will be leading the support team. So this transition is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a little bit of time to get everything up to speed and running. But I know that's kind of a big update and a big heads up. Melissa's been with us for, I think, 5 years plus. She's always done a phenomenal job. I've always been extremely impressed and happy with what she's done. And I'm really, really excited to have her working with Heather in HR, helping you with payroll questions or vacation time, as well as helping Heather with bookkeeping tasks and stuff like that. So Heather needs the additional help and support, and Melissa's going to fill that role. That also means that there may be some other changes. I know, I believe anyways, and I'm not certain on this, I was talking to Heather about it, that Jessica will do a lot more of this work and support, HR type of stuff for everyone in the Philippines, and I'll let them figure that out. But more or less between Melissa, Jessica, and Heather, they're going to handle a lot of the HR related stuff, so paid time off or anything around that, they can help out. So that's an update. Zach is living, I think, north of Manila in the Philippines, and he's been on our team, I think, around 2 years now. I love working with Zach. He's a lot of fun. I don't, haven't got to meet him face to face personally yet because he is in the Philippines, but I'm really excited to hear about a lot of the things that he's going to help us with and work with our support team on. So that's kind of a cool, fun update. I'm really enthusiastic about it, and I'm really excited to see what Melissa does with Heather and what Zach does in support with the support team. And I think that's going to be really fun and exciting to see how that advances in the next few months and years to come. So that's a quick update before I jump into the stories. One other thing I'll mention is our KPI dashboards are a little bit messed up. They're not perfect. We're still struggling with getting our KPI dashboards perfect because it's a lot of manual work. We are transitioning over to HubSpot, a new shopping cart that will eventually replace Infusionsoft. We've been using Infusionsoft for probably around 10 years. I would guess, and we were kind of outgrowing it. We've talked about this in the past, but it's kind of caused a lot of issues with getting accurate and up-to-date and consistent KPIs. Just the whole thing is a real cluster. So that kind of sucks, and I think once we move to HubSpot and Limelight and move into some more enterprise-level providers, we'll be able to get up-to-date, live, as they happen stats and KPIs. So Jake has started working on some of that for the churn dashboard, and like for example, the setup turnaround time or setup success rate, like how many of our new members actually set up and select their books. So he fixed that up so it links directly to HubSpot and it's dynamic, and so it all happens automatically. And so when you log in, the number's live, what actually is where we're at right then and there for the last 30 days. So we're starting to work that way. So I'm just giving you a heads up. KPIs are a little bit screwed up, but I think we're going to have a facelift on that over the next few months and hopefully have some better numbers, if not next few months to next year as we start transitioning to better tools. So that's kind of a cool update. It's where we're at with a bunch of stuff. If you guys ever need anything from me, please email me. And I want to switch over my screen. And so you guys know that if you go to smartagents.com/core values, you can submit a story here, just in case you guys forgot about this, because we didn't get many stories so far this month. And you can read the stories here. So I already have this pulled up. I was skimming through some of these early. I think I want to go back to the beginning of the month. Oh, skip too far. Here we are. That's the first one. And I kind of want to just go through these, give you the highlights, and please email me back with your favorite or the one that you feel aligns with our core values the most. And let's pick a winner. And again, if we get over 4 per month, we're going to bump that reward to $100 for both storyteller and the person the story was about. If it's under 4, it's $50. So let's get these stories. They're a lot of fun. You just got to take the time, sit down, and write it about somebody. I sent one in about John Marcello, who we've been working with for around, I think, 6 years now. And there's so many good things we could say about each other. It's just taking the time to sit down and actually do it and recognize each other for being awesome or living our core values. And when you're not face-to-face and belly-to-belly like our team, a lot of us are all virtual. It's easy to just not really celebrate our wins and say, high five, doing awesome. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to celebrate some of the high fives that we got virtually here over the last month in September. So let's go through these. These are fun. I always love reading these. So this is from Peter Lagman to Verity. Both Peter and Verity work in the printing department. And this story more or less is talking about how Verity took the book design project. They needed to be up-leveled a little bit. And she stepped in and helped out, up-leveled the designs, made them a lot better, and just took it upon herself. There was, I think, some downtime in the printing department when we had some of the slower months over the summer. And go read this story. It's a good one. It's fun. I loved reading it. Good job, Verity, and thank you, Peter, for sharing. The next story is from Peter about Glenn. And both Peter, again, and Glenn work in the printing department. And that story there is about the binder, our printing binder. And Peter is talking about how Glenn is always maintaining them and fixing them, making sure they're working well. So the binder machine puts the covers on the book. So if you have your paper, it actually cuts it and glues it and sticks a cover on there so it doesn't come off of it. So we're hoping to get some better videos of the print shop while Joe's in town. Joe's in Jacksonville, and he's going to try to go over there this week and video it. He hasn't been there yet, so we're excited to show it to him. And then we can share that with you guys. Anyways, so this big binder machine is a real beast. It's a little dramatic. If it was a person, it would be a really big drama queen. And Glenn is always maintaining and keeping that thing working extremely well. So thank you, Glenn, and thank you, Peter, for sharing that story. Let's go to the next one. So the next one is from Megan about Melissa. And Megan is talking about how Melissa is so kind and helpful since I have started here. She drops everything just to help or to answer questions. When there's an issue, she goes straight to the source. She's very knowledgeable about all areas of the company and is a great asset. So thank you, Megan, for sharing that. And Melissa, thanks for being awesome. I appreciate your hard work. Next one is from Emily about Jasper. So Jasper, sorry, I should have told you Megan is in setup and Melissa is in support, but now transitioning to helping Heather. So the next story is from Emily about Jasper. Jasper works is a software developer that works with John Marcello and the software development teams that we've hired. And let me pull it up really quick, 'cause this is cool. So Jasper, I've recently reached out to Jasper for some help on things that are above my knowledge, and each time, regardless of what it has been, he is super helpful. Even when he didn't know the answer to what I was talking about, he still wanted to help me achieve what I needed. Even if it meant he had to learn something new. Truly an asset to the team. So thank you, Jasper. Appreciate that, and thank you, Emily, for sharing that. Let's go to the next one. 31. Oh, this one's a long one. So this one is from Melissa about Peter, and I'll tell you the story versus reading it to you. But in short, support, the stats on the calls that were dropped and being missed was really, really low. We were at about 50%. We were expecting it to be, I think, 70 to 80% plus. I don't really know exactly where they're hoping that to be, so I won't claim that. But in short, the stats were not where we were expecting them. A lot of calls looked like they were getting dropped. And in short, it was a glitch. Support was, I think, making some outbound calls that was throwing the numbers off. And Peter came in with some fresh eyes, identified that, helped solve it. And once that was solved, the stats actually showed what they should have been showing, and the support team was doing the job that they were supposed to be. So it looked really bad until Peter came in and was like, hey, this is causing the issue. Let's fix this. And it showed the real numbers. So sometimes fresh eyes are so helpful, and I know how it is when someone else is coming and looking over your shoulder on something you're doing and telling you where you're screwing up, and you're like crap. It's kind of like the person who comes up to the car when you can't start it, and they turn the key and it starts right up, and you're like, So I know how you have to be humble to accept that. So thank you from Melissa for accepting that, and thank you, Peter, for your help there. So anyways, let's go to the next story. So 32. I'm just reading the numbers, make sure I don't miss any. So it's from Princeton to Marvin. So both Princeton and Marvin live in the Philippines. They've both been on our team for a while, a few years now, I believe. Princeton does the graphic work, and Marvin does a lot of stuff. He's a huge asset to the team, always helping in different departments, has a lot of knowledge on all the different things we're doing. But the funniest part is when Princeton joined the team, he didn't realize that Marvin was in the Philippines, and it took him, I think, a year before he realized that. So that was kind of cool and kind of funny. I was like, crap, that means we really need to get a platform that kind of talks about our team and shares some different stuff with them. And one of the things we talked about, we don't have a timeline for it, but we'd love to do it, is to create a kind of like a membership site. We want to put it under like a learning management platform, a learning management system. We've talked about this in the past, where we can put like a little bio and a picture for each person on the team, and then kind of talk, maybe even do a disc profile test on each of us so we understand each other. Because when you're working virtual, if somebody is maybe more analytical and another one is very creative, they think different. And if you don't understand that about each other, it's really easy to kind of rub each other wrong. So we want to create a little, like, I don't know if you call it a membership site. We'd put it under a learning management system and create a little bio and do a disc profile test for each person so you can go and read it and understand more about who you're working with and where they're located and who they are as a person. It just could be really fun. It's really fun to get to know everyone and get to know more about them personally, but with us all working virtually, that's really hard to do. So that's something we want to do. We don't have a timeline on it, but we want to do it in the near future. It'd be really cool to do. I think it'd be fun. Let's go to the next story really quick. I think we're almost done. There wasn't that many stories last month. So 33 was from Verity about Glenn. So Glenn and Verity, again, are both in the print shop. This is the second one for Glenn. Good job, Glenn. High five. Glenn is one of the quietest people I work with, but when you're in a jam, he's always there to help you out. I was laminating covers one day when the laminator stopped separating the covers from each other. This wouldn't have been a problem if I had an arm a mile long, but I don't. Glenn's really, really tall, by the way. He's a tall dude, so he has long arms. Glenn was in the middle of binding books, and without a word, he stopped what he was doing, came over and helped me out till the laminator was running smoothly again. This is just one instance of this. I catch him doing similar kind things for all of the print team frequently. Glenn is a team player and is always finding ways to put others before himself. Thank you, Glenn. That means a lot to me to hear that and read that. I really appreciate you, bro. Thanks again. And thanks, Verity, for sharing that. That's a great story. I really love reading these type of stories. It really hits me. It really touches me. I'll be honest. So this one's from Princeton about me. More or less, Princeton is saying he enjoys my videos. Good to hear, Princeton. Thank you. Sometimes I get feedback. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes nobody responds. I'm like, cool. Maybe we got ghosts out there. Maybe people hear it, maybe not. But I appreciate that, Princeton. Thank you very much. So I believe that is all of the stories this month. Yes, it is, because this is my story for next month, or this month, the current month. That's it. We're a little longer than I was expecting. I think that's all the updates. We'll talk next Wednesday on the town hall. And until then, enjoy your weekend. Keep chugging, keep working, let's get this stuff done. I appreciate everyone's hard work. And slowly but surely, we're making improvements and going the right direction. I'm excited about the future, guys. We'll talk soon. Bye. If I can figure out how to turn this thing off.